Hello and welcome to another compilation of 3 mod videos that I've released recently. I've also cut out all the intros and the outros to keep everything flowing. And the videos as well as the order they're in is POV, you just found the best new Cyberpunk 2077 mods, 8 Cyberpunk 2077 mods you need to see, and then we finish off with 10 new Cyberpunk 2077 mods that are actually good. And they are actually good. Also, don't worry, there are timestamps for those of you who prefer, but without further ado, let's get into this compilation. And if this is your jam or your style, please subscribe, but video time. First up, we've got Kabuki Diner Apartment. Easily one of the coziest mods that I've seen in a while. This one adds a studio apartment above Tom's Diner in Kabuki. And of course, it's interactable as basically every other apartment, from the bed to the coffee machine, incense, and even smoking or leaning spots. It's got that lived-in feel that makes it instantly feel like home. I love this apartment. Downstairs, you've got a small garage and utility room, both connected by a working lift. There's a stash, wardrobe, and computer, all the stuff it is, alright? And an addition of a cat named Tommy, which I can only assume is just Nibbles' brother, and they are both ugly. But yeah, he just chills out, does whatever Tommy does. I don't know. Also, don't worry, Nibbles is safe. Nibbles is in your other apartment. And there's also a custom fast travel point, which is a pretty nice touch. Now, to unlock the apartment, I didn't have it unlocked at first, so I know exactly what you've got to do. Yeah, if you don't have it unlocked yet. You'll need to complete the gig Concrete Cage Trap. It's one where you rescue someone with the initials TM, because I'm not giving you spoilers. And once you finish that gig, wait about 24 hours, and I think it's El Capitan, who will text you, and then you'll have a map marker of your new apartment that you can purchase for 9,000 eddies. And if you haven't got that gig yet, by the way, just keep doing more of Regina's gigs that are sort of in a maybe like 3-kilometer radius of Kabuki. And then after you do, I think I had to do probably like 6 of them, maybe less, and then it all happened for me. I just pulled up to Kabuki and it was surrounded by NCPD, and I was like, hey, wait, something's happening here. And yeah, stuff happened. The mission. It's awesome. It's a cool mission. But yeah, and then Regina will call you telling you the dates of the gig, and just finish that gig and bam. But honestly, this apartment is awesome. It's in a cool area. It's got the vibes. And if you ask me, it's a perfect addition to your game. All right, we've spoken enough. Home is sorted. But what if V actually talked while living their daily life? Well, next up is Immersive V Dialogue Expanded. And this one really improved my game. Now, normally V doesn't really have much of anything to say outside of missions. And all of us, all want that to change. So, this mod adds over 200 reused and recontextualized voice lines, so V will comment while driving, looting, being hurt, hacking devices, performing actions, and quite a lot more. Even when you're in combat, like shooting up people and getting shot at and stuff, your V will react, and it feels like, it feels really fresh. I know I say that a lot, but that's my goal with mods. Things that make it feel fresh and not stale. Like, so I can continue playing the game that I fucking love, you know? And I know that's how a lot of other people are as well. You want just freshness. Tired. And yes, Johnny might drop in with random quips too, keeping the dynamic alive. And also, you can tweak all of the mod settings in the mod settings. Like, you can tweak just how much they talk, or turn on or off certain dialogue options just in case something gets annoying. Like, maybe you don't want V to have things to say while in combat, or maybe you don't want V to talk while they're driving. You can turn that off in the settings, which is a great addition, by the way. Great work, mod author. Now that V feels more human, let's bring some fun into the streets. Up next is basketball interactions. This one almost lets you play basketball in Cyberpunk 2077. That's really cool, but it is a little bit limited. It's essentially just a animation that plays when you interact with the hoop or the basketball, and you get 2 options with the basketball, and you can dunk at the hoop. It is cool. It's a nice addition. It would be so cool if you could get like maybe a basketball melee weapon and like throw it at the hoop. Something like that. I think that would be awesome, and I'm pretty sure that would be almost doable, except you'd need a melee weapon that doesn't stick into stuff. You'd need one that bounces, hey. Well, modders, you've done amazing stuff, always. I wonder if that is something that could be done. Please! That would be awesome. Anyways, it's simple, it's pointless, but that's actually why it's fun. No buffs, no XP, just vibes. Now, you're not going to spend an hour doing the basketball, but maybe you just got back from a tough mission or a tough day and you just want to shoot some hoops. Pretty cool. Now, I know I mentioned a throwable weapon just before, but let's mention another one. The throwing weapon Batarang. And yes, it is exactly what it sounds like. You can now equip and throw an actual Batarang that is also complete with multiple variants. Now, I'm not sure if Batman himself had multiple variants, but honestly, he's missing out, I think. But yeah, it functions like a throwing knife. It's reusable. It's obviously sharp, and it goes very fast, obviously. But you're instead Batman. There's also Batman mods, by the way. If you're not aware, there's a Batman costume. There's some Batmobiles. I haven't tested them out. And I mean, you can go full Batman, to be honest. But hey, mate, well, like, who knows? Maybe I might do a Batman mod list. That could be an idea. If you want a Batman mod list, let me know. I can cook it up. But yeah, I mean, it's a Batarang. You throw it, kill people. It looks cool, and that's pretty much all. So, moving over to the next mod. Next up is the Santo Domingo Garage Home. This one converts a wrecked building in Santo Domingo into a full apartment and working garage. You've got everything you'd want. The stash, the wardrobe, the shower, the bed, a laptop, everything. Now, it's tucked near the bottom of the Santo Domingo Dam, close to the Ripper Dock that is in the area, and a gun shop, which I think, if from memory, is not a gun shop, it's a guy in a shady room. Or is that the Ripper Dock? I think that's both of them. But I will say, it's got that gritty, industrial, rundown crap vibe, but like the kind of place a merc would actually live. Now, you could be boys with all the boys there, and like homies. There is a mission there where you take one of their guns if you do good, and they're actually not that bad. They could be good people. I may have judged too soon. But on the complete opposite spectrum of this, not dirty, clean, is the Ho-Oh Club Clean mod. If you've ever been to the dude, this word's hard, man. If you've ever been to the bar, you probably noticed it's absolutely messy. It's like, it's really messy. I didn't even notice it till I saw this mod and got the footage before. But like, dude, there's trash everywhere. Garbage piled up on the floor, bottles on the counter, the bins are overflowing. There's like, dude, oh my God, there's probably rats too. Well, anyways, this mod fixes it. It cleans the entire place up, removes the clutter, trash, grime, random crap, newspapers, and random junk that honestly made the place look abandoned, minus the people that are there. But with this mod, you can actually appreciate the architecture and the environment properly. It's a simple change, but it completely changes the vibe. Now it feels like a place you'd actually want to walk into and get completely shit and have a few drinks. Now, let's take a breather and enjoy the city from a cinematic angle. Up next, we've got Autodrive Cinematic Camera Extended. And this one, I quite like it a lot. It builds on the base Autodrive feature and adds a ton of cinematic camera angles so you can just sit back, hit Autodrive, and essentially watch the city go by like a movie. I would recommend when it's raining, go do the Blade Runner Easter egg. Go make it rain and just vibe out. The mod adds extra angles, smoother transitions, and pairs perfectly with any radio mods you've got. This mod has quickly become a true must-have in my eyes. There are only like a couple of camera angles that aren't ideal, but honestly, I think those are just the base game ones, to be completely honest. The mod author nailed this. Now, it did have a bug for me where the camera stayed still, but as soon as I found out that 1 and 2 switches your camera angles, all good. I really love the camera angle that is in your car looking out the front window. That one's really nice. Also, I would love to see a few more camera angles added. I'm sure there's a couple more that aren't in the mod, but right now the mod has a lot of camera angles and they all look very nice. If you're into that stuff, perfect. Speaking of rides though, let's talk about a certain talking taxi. Immersive Delamain takes the AI cab system and gives it a little overhaul. Now, I didn't download this mod, and I'm gonna tell you why. So, with no mods that affect this, just keep that in mind. I've no mods that affect this, but when I call my cab to come and pick me up, it's invisible. Why? We're not the Avengers. I don't need an invisible cab that I can't even get in. Like, and then when I do get in, I'm visible. I just look like I'm a floating V. Dude, NCPD will burn me. That's bad. So yeah, I couldn't install this mod, and I don't know how to fix my invisible cab problem. Anyway, it just doesn't work. The mod doesn't work for me because of the invisible cab situation. Anyways, if your Delamain cab is not invisible, this mod would be great for you. V now actually interacts with the Delamain socket port with a prompt, and also this adds more than 40 new dialogues between V and the Delamain. You got 12 new variants of greeting dialogues, 11 new variants of farewell dialogues, 13 new variants of confirmation, And the other one's a secret. You have to go and read the mod page to find out, because I'm not reading it. The Delamain also has a combat condition. If V is in combat, Delamain will rush to drive, and in that case, you won't need to connect your socket port. Delamain will provide you a map immediately. So yeah, this mod adds quite a few cool little features, and honestly, I don't see a downside on installing it, as long as your cab's not invisible. But the final mod on the list for today is the 911 Turbo Trike. And yes, this thing is pure chaos. It's a three-wheeled Porsche 911 that's part car, part bike, and all attitude. Created by my favorite vehicle creator, Orange 3. But just look at this thing. It's the new Porsche that they added, but instead of you rescuing it, or however you got it, I can't remember. Instead of you rescuing it, it got taken by some gang members of sorts. I don't know which ones. Oh, the mod page says the Wraiths took it, and they angle grinded the top and took a seat out? Took two seats out? They cut it up, man. They cut it up heaps, and they made it a bike. They made it a trike, actually. 3 wheels. It's got fully active suspension. It's also... this should go without saying because mod creators are doing amazing work, but it's a single variant that's standalone. It won't replace your actual Porsche that has no roof. And also, Johnny will ride with you in the back seat, which is awesome. Also, this thing is filled with a lot of amazing details. Like, if you look closely at it, look at the seats, look at the cow skull, the suspension, like, it's very detailed. Awesome work, man. Kicking things off with a mod that makes driving in Cyberpunk much more interesting. Immersive Odometer and Fuel System. This adds both an odometer that actually tracks your mileage and a fuel system for every single car and bike that you own. Each vehicle has its own tank size and unique fuel consumption. The system is dynamic too. The faster you drive, the more you burn. And speaking of the gauge, the mod comes with a brand new digital fuel display with a little engine light that tracks your vehicle's overall condition. At full health, it glows cyan and dips to amber when your vehicle gets below 50% damage. And when you're really running your ride into the ground, it goes red to eventually a emergency light starts flashing. It's clean, it's functional, and you can also move and resize it to fit your HUD setup. The only catch is that it overlaps with the Autodrive widget by default. It's recommended to pair it with the limited HUD mod to keep everything minimalistic and clean. And also, fuel pricing is dynamic too. You can set any price in the mod's menu settings, and then every in-game hour, the price shifts slightly. So filling up at one point in the day might cost you a little more, or maybe you'll luck out and hit a dip in the market. And to refuel, just pull into any gas station around Night City or the Badlands, and the system takes care of it automatically. And yes, all the gas stations are marked on your map, which makes this mod extremely neat. And yes, you can also run out of fuel, so be careful not to let that happen. While fully customizable, this mod works perfectly by default. Either way, it makes every drive in Cyberpunk feel much more immersive. And I have no idea how this mod missed my radar. I only found out about this mod due to a comment in my last video, so thank you to that person. But next up is a mod that fixes something small. Once you notice it, you can't unsee it, because I couldn't. Adaptive traffic lights finally makes traffic behave somewhat like it should. With this mod, NPC vehicles will automatically adjust their headlights based on the time of day and the weather. So during a bright afternoon, the streets actually look sunlit and natural and not headlight lit. But once the sun sets or a storm rolls in or rain, etc., you'll start to see the NPC vehicles' headlights flick on all around you. Technically you won't. But anyway, it's a subtle change, but it makes driving through the city feel a little bit more polished. Now, performance-wise, the mod is basically free, as the system doesn't constantly check every car, and vehicles only update when they spawn, which keeps things smooth. It's not the flashiest mod on the list, but the difference is immediate. Moving on. Alright, let's talk new weapon pack. The Biotechnica Cache adds 3 brand new iconic weapons, with each weapon feeling like a dangerous experiment straight out of Biotechnica's labs. First up is Bloom, a Tycon pistol. The tagline says it all: beneath even the thickest chrome lies the seed of life, waiting to bloom. Fully charged shots from this thing cause uncontrolled cell division in your target, basically making their body tear itself apart from the inside. It absolutely shreds flesh and blood enemies, but it's a little less effective against heavily cyberized targets who can tank the biological damage. To get your hands on Bloom, first, each of these weapons can be spawned in using the CET console commands. But, interestingly enough, to get hold of this gun without using the commands, you need to gather 3 unique items tied to the NCPD scanner hustles connected to Project Nightingale. And if you've missed the item or already completed, each item can be purchased from the black market vendor. But the next weapon in this pack is Sporecaster, a Ashura sniper unlike anything else in the game. Instead of simply dropping enemies, this weapon fires vials of spores that mind control whoever you hit. Suddenly, the bad guy who was blasting you becomes your ally, turning their gun on their own crew. Hit them again, and not only does it refresh their mind control effect, but it also heals them, keeping your new friend in the fight longer. It's chaotic, it's creative, and it makes every encounter feel unpredictable. Now you'll find this incredible rifle stashed at Maggie Isley's lab, and the vibe of picking it up there fits the lore almost perfectly. And finally, there's the rat stick. This isn't just a baseball bat, it's chemical warfare wrapped in wood and chrome. And the tagline nails it. Sometimes you just gotta bash a few lab rats. Whenever you kill a poisoned enemy with it, the rat stick releases a burst of pesticide, spreading poison to everyone nearby. Suddenly, you've got chain reaction chaos, turning one takedown into an entire group choking on toxins. And you'll be able to loot this one during an NCPD scanner hustle at the Badlands dump site on the border of Santo Domingo. 3 weapons, 3 completely different playstyles, and all tied together by Biotechnica's twisted experiments. Whether you want biological devastation with Bloom, mind-bending control with Sporecaster, or toxic chaos with the Rat Stick, this cache adds some neat and creative new tools to your arsenal. By the way, if you're enjoying the video so far and want to see more Cyberpunk mods, consider subscribing. It helps out a ton and it lets me know I'm doing the right thing. But let's get back to the video. Movement in vanilla Cyberpunk has always felt a little stiff. Like sprinting and gunplay were never really designed to flow together. But the mod Omni Combat changes that completely. It's a full movement overhaul that stitches together the best of Omni Movement, the Gun-Ho Quality of Life mod, and a set of new customization sliders, all rolled into one package. At its core, the mod gives you full control over how V moves. You're not locked into the game's default sprint logic anymore. Instead, you can move forwards, side, and backwards sprint speeds individually. Toggle whether sprint should reset when you stop, and experiment with speed boosts to find the exact feel that you want. Right now, the sprint toggle works perfectly, and the speed boost system for Omni Movement is fully functional. You've also got the Gun-Ho system baked in, which keeps sprint animations active even during combat. So instead of snapping back into rigid gunplay, movement feels fluid and connected. It makes running and gunning way more natural. The beauty of it is the flexibility. If you want to crank things up and zip around like a chrome ninja, just put those sliders up and fly through fights. If you'd rather keep things grounded and tactical, you can dial the boost back and wait for the planned penalty system to drop, which will eventually let you stack movement penalties when aiming or sliding, creating a more realistic pace. But at the very least, this mod will offer you a small refreshing way to enjoy the combat. Omni Combat transforms the feel of firefights, and yeah, for me at least, it's just a new way to experience combat. But let's move on to the next mod for today. This one's simple but surprisingly immersive. Roaming Bus adds the buses into the city's traffic during rush hours. It does this by replacing one of the big truck variants, so now you'll actually spot buses. Some loaded with passengers, others running empty, just like in real life. Pair it with the Driver Bus mod, and you can even sit down inside, switch on Autodrive, and roleplay as a commuter in Night City. It's not flashy, but it's one of those background mods that makes the city breathe a little more. Once you've seen buses mixed into the flow of traffic, it's hard to imagine Night City without them, because it just shouldn't be without them. Now here's something that goes beyond gameplay and digs straight into the soul of the Cyberpunk genre. The Night City poster project isn't your typical texture overhaul. The author curated over 200 brand new high-resolution lore-friendly posters, all seamlessly integrated into Night City. And no, these aren't random images slapped on walls. They're posters for original fictional films created by the mod author. And it's not just the new content, every single one of the vanilla posters has also been enhanced too, upscaled into crisp, high-resolution versions that keep CD Projekt Red's original direction intact. It's one of those mods where the more time you spend in Night City, the more you appreciate a mod that seems to be simple but makes a great difference. Now this mod is this is one I've personally wanted in the game ever since I first came across the model, but now it's fully drivable and magnificent. The mobility scooter is exactly what it sounds like. A little 5 horsepower all-wheel drive Mitsutani chariot that lets you tear up the sidewalks of Night City in style. It's been fully reworked and brought back by Orange, an exceptional mod creator who has brought us quite a few interesting vehicles. But now, the scooter. Whether its original owner had a heart attack or it fell off and died or something, we'll never know. But the result is probably my favorite ride ever. You've got 6 variants to choose from, each available in 3 color schemes. Some come kitted out with items scavenged from Dogtown's weapon shops, things like strapped on guns and gear. Now they are just for decoration, but they make every scooter look like it's been through some wild adventures. Oh, and I nearly forgot to mention, there are variants with an attached wheelchair for Johnny to tag along. And I just love how absurd and brilliant this mod is. It might not win you any street races, but the scooter drives surprisingly well for a mobility scooter. But there is something quite humorous about blasting through Night City traffic at top speed on a beat up motorized chair. But from the good old scooter to something a bit more speedy. The Porsche 911 RSR Head over to your nearest virtual car dealer and grab this beauty. A great modern counterpart to Johnny's Porsche. So if you've ever wanted a matching upgrade for V's garage, this is it. Whether you're flexing Corpo Plaza or ripping across the Badlands at night, this car brings style and speed. So if you're one for the real world imports, then this is a must-have because it was really fun to drive and super speedy. Watson Tattoo Shops. This mod adds 2 tattoo parlors in Watson, one in Little China and another in Northside. The locations are on the mod page, so it should be pretty easy for you to find them. Once found, you can roll in, sit in the chair and customize tattoos in game. Yes, the point of this mod is to enhance immersion, but you can also change your appearance as well if you'd like. But immersiveness wise, getting tattoos at these 2 shops is a cool little thing that you can do now. Also, just before we move on to the next mod, if you are a mod author and you make locations around Night City, please, for the love of God, put your damn locations on the mod page. I've seen multiple mod authors just not tell you where the place is that they've added to the game. But anyways, that's my little rant for the video. Next up is Immersive Hit. This one changes how getting shot feels and looks. When V takes a real hit from a gun, not damage over time. You get a blood overlay on screen, which is brief but intense, and a stagger hit effect, like when your block breaks. Subtle, not stun locked, but enough to make the hit matter. As well as camera shake that scales with weapon type, so sniper rifles shake more than pistols, etc. The overlay auto clears if you're not hit again within like half a second. Each hit refreshes the timer. That means hits feel impactful without being obnoxious. Every bullet that connects, you really notice. It makes combat sharper, more engaging, and more satisfying. And yep, you can change any of these settings using the mod settings mods, one of them, there's 2 of them. It's also likely a requirement mod, so you won't need to go looking for it. And also, I'm sure most people have the mod settings mods installed. But moving on. Reinforcements, gang vs gang. This is a mod that turns fights into absolute chaos in a good way, especially with the mod Night City Alive. When gangs are fighting each other, they will now be able to call for backup, so you can imagine how damn chaotic that can get. It ramps up tension and makes Night City feel quite a bit more dangerous. This one's for gore lovers, GoreRunner Blood and Carnage Overhaul. Now I've blurred the more extreme parts here, which is quite literally almost everything. But if I don't blur it, YouTube will make me look like the victims here. But anyways, in-game, goddamn, blood sprays, brutal damage visuals, and every impact looks delicious. And makes combat feel more weighty. And also, yes, I'm gliding through the part where I said it looks delicious. You just gotta see it in-game, alright? Then you can think I'm crazy, if needs be. But yeah, no messing around. Enemies fall apart fantastically. More gore splatter, more carnage. And if you want fights to feel more visceral, and make sure you think twice about how you can make these gonks' heads explode, then this is your mod. But now for something that adds atmosphere. Rocky Ridge Bar Overhaul. The bar's been upgraded, lighting tweaks, texture polish, maybe even NPC ambience improvements in the future, hopefully. This mod does need NPCs roaming around or drinking or just anything, but it still feels gritty and it's still a bar, but now it looks like someone actually cares about the detail. Walking in, it feels like it was meant to be. Places like this matter because they are cool and just straight up vibes. They make Night City feel like somewhere people live, drink, and have stories, not just missions. Now, one of the mods I was quite excited for is Glen Apartment Expanded Redux. This is a vanilla themed overhaul of V's Glen Apartment with a balcony, a garage which I forgot existed, and a landing pad for, well, if you get the drive-in AV mod, I think it's called, you can literally drive your AV or fly your AV and land it on top of your apartment, which is sick. And also the landing pad, like, roof is awesome. Like, holy crap, Blade Runner, it's sick. It's so cool. I've also seen a mod, is it called the spinner from Blade Runner? I've also seen that mod flying around, and man, it's tempting. But yeah, Let There Be Flight, Drive an AV, the Blade Runner spinner or whatever it's called, all of those mods are quite usable for you to pair with this apartment mod. But if that's not quite your style, there's also the Glen Apartment redesigned option, which is a slightly different twist on the previous mod. There's a lot more red, there's a lot more like clutter, and a little bit more mess. And there's also a turret that is technically your security. It's inactive, like it doesn't work, but like immersion-wise, it's pretty cool, I guess. Unless it decides to shoot you or that cute little cat that's kind of ugly. What's his name? Friggin' Nibbles? Looks like he's got all his fur nibbled off. Sorry, it's 5:30 a.m. But yeah, with the Glen Apartment Expanded Redux, I literally forgot to record the garage as I was just so excited to check out the balcony, which is great. And just for that alone, the mod is well worth it. But yeah, pick your poison, pick your flavor out of those two apartment mods. And also both of them add a few more interactions as well, which is becoming the standard because of the native interactions framework. Is that what's called? I don't know, man. I'm literally winging this, dude. I got sick of writing the script and I basically just winged it all. But we're gonna move on. We're moving on. Now for something that changes how you can get perk points. Attribute and perk shop. This is a CET mod that lets you buy and sell perk points and attribute points for configurable prices. So like you can change in the mod settings how much they cost. But if you want to tweak your build on the fly without resets, this gives you more control. You can dump more into attributes you care about or offload what you don't need, depending on how you play. For me, I'm not gonna lie to you, I don't really have a use for this mod at the moment. But I imagine this mod makes it easier for you to not feel locked into your current build. And you can adjust it without completely resetting. So if this mod's for you, description is where you'll find it, of course, but moving on. The small touches make the biggest difference. Tabletop smart frames and smart photos. So if we head back to the Glen apartment, we'll see that I've installed, well, this mod, and it makes the smart frames look that little bit cooler. And it adds some smart photos around the place. Like smart photo frames, sorry. It also adds like smart posters to certain places, which is really neat. I actually didn't see those, but I'm looking at the mod photos right now and I see them. So yeah, quite a very cool addition. It just makes your apartments feel more homey, I guess. You know, more personalizable. But yeah, it doesn't change your gunplay or stats, but walking to your apartment and seeing your memories, your photos, it's that kind of stuff that grounds the experience for me. It makes V feel more like a person with a life and not just someone making people's heads explode. But moving on. Orange 3 with yet another banger, the Trophy Tanishi. This thing is a weaponized, rugged version of the Makigai Tanishi, but bigger wheels, beefed up suspension, and very interesting variants. Like the Orange Special, Trauma Team, Max Tac, Nomad, etc. There are quite a few more. It also handles rough terrain well. It looks mean and it feels powerful. And in the version that I brought, the side flames actually power up and glow depending on how much acceleration you're putting on. It's one of those features that's not just for show, it adds feedback. And it's like super awesome. Orange 3 has done a great job. This vehicle was a blast. I actually enjoyed it quite a lot. It is actually really fun to drive, by the way. Like, you've got vehicles like the Dodge Ram. Don't worry about that. I just smacked something over. You got vehicles like the Dodge Ram, which are, you know, it's a ute. Like, it just doesn't like, you know? This vehicle, it's really good. And it's also like not immersion braking or anything. It's literally like some NPC from the game could essentially whip these vehicles up. Every vehicle Orange makes is like that. And I mean, it's just sick. All right, thank you very much for watching this compilation video. Hopefully you found some great new mods for your game. And if you want even more mods, check out my channel for a bunch more. Also, if there are any mods you love and think I should check out, please let me know in the comments below. Thank you again very much for watching. Please be sure to subscribe, as at the time of recording this, I'm like 20 subscribers from 10,000 subscribers. Which, thank you very much. I'm sure many people watching this are subscribed, and I greatly appreciate that. But yeah, subscribe and leave a like. Until next time, goodbye and happy modding.